Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Caramel Sundays Frosted Gingerbread. Now, this candle that I am reviewing for you today is one of their 2-wick. It's about 18 ounces of 100% soy wax. Caramel Sundays is a small business based out of Monroe, Georgia, that prides themselves in producing non-toxic, not only home fragrance, but they have a lot of body, personal care items, and household items. So this candle retails for $31.99. That does include the cost of shipping. And this fragrance will be available in this format as well as in the 4-wick 40-ounce vessel. That one will retail for $64.99. But both of those candles will be available on Sunday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when they do their November restock. So let's go ahead and get into this review. We have fragrance notes are listed as top notes of cinnamon, mid notes of nutmeg and clove, base note of vanilla and tonka. Now, if you look on the label here, they actually I don't want to say they changed up the fragrance notes, but they're listed a little bit different than what I had originally seen on the website. So kind of an overview, fragrance notes are listed as baked gingerbread cookies, ginger butter, and vanilla icing. I'm going to tell you guys that that description on the candle is actually a little bit more accurate to what my nose is detecting, as opposed to what the top, middle, and bottom notes are listed as on the website. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm smelling here. If you guys want frosted gingerbread cookies in a candle, this is for you. I'm going to tell you guys, I was actually kind of surprised, truthfully, when I hauled this entire, candle haul from October. I honestly, this one, you guys, was my least favorite candle on cold. I will tell you, after burning, I enjoyed it a lot more, but still after burning, while I like this candle, this is not a love for me. I think for me, when it comes to gingerbread fragrances, I prefer fragrances that are a little bit more heavy on the spices and the more of like the warm being baked in an oven accord than I care for the actual frosted element. Now, those are just my fragrance preferences in general. You guys, you may notice on my channel, I don't really give high praise to a lot of candles that are super sweet, super sugary. Like it's not really my wheelhouse, my preferences. That being said, if you are somebody who does like those fragrances, I think that you will really like this candle, because to me, the most prominent note is kind of that vanilla icing that's mixed with the gingerbread cookie in here. I do definitely detect gingerbread cookie, but I will say that the vanilla icing note is definitely very present. And I would say that to my nose, I have to burn this candle out in an open concept, because if I burn this in a smaller setting or a smaller space, for me personally, it becomes a little bit cloying. And again, that's just knowing that my fragrance preferences, I don't tend to like super sweet scents. So, I like it, but it's not a love for me. So if you're wanting some comparisons to, say, Kringle Candle just had their Jolly Gingerbread that was released in the Reserve lineup. That fragrance to me, you guys, is definitely more a gingerbread cookie that's being baked in the oven. It's almost ready to come out of the oven, but there's no frosting accord to it. So I do like that fragrance. And truthfully, you guys, I've actually been pairing that candle with this one, and I feel like the combination of both of them has been absolutely stunning. I actually really like both of them, because that candle gives me a little bit more of that like baked gingerbread accord, and this one is definitely more heavy on the frosting note. So it's been a really nice combination, but those are my comparisons. Also, like the other gingerbread fragrance that I've burned recently has been Homeworks' pumpkin gingerbread, and that one's really nice, but that one is definitely a lot more spicy. So if you're somebody who wants like a really spicy gingerbread fragrance, then that's the one that I would point you towards. So I feel like, over the course of the last couple of months, now I've experienced 3 different types of gingerbread for 3 different types of preferences. So, take that into account, know yourself, know what you tend to like in candles, and that's probably what I would say would be the best bet when it comes to looking at different gingerbread fragrances that are available. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So like I said, this is in the 2-wick. You can see I've got really healthy flames going on here. No issues with the wicks. This candle has been burning for about 4 hours now. Have I heeded my own advice to, extinguish the wick and trim it after about 2.5, 3 hours? No, I have not. But once you get to the halfway point, particularly on these Caramel Sundays candles, I do find that I want to extinguish the wick and relight, just because there is a little bit of excess carbon residue that does build at the end of these wicks. And with the vessel being how it is, you will accumulate a little bit of soot on the ends there. It's not major, you guys. Not anything that really bothers me, but if you want to cut down on that, then go ahead, extinguish the wicks, trim, and then if you're really enjoying the fragrance, go ahead and relight. Strength and throw on this one, you guys. The first burn I felt like was a little bit light, but you guys know if you've been watching any of my reviews, particularly with soy wax, but I've really gotten to this point with most candles. I kind of don't really do an evaluation on the first burn. I don't really have high expectations on the first burn of a candle, just because I do know that oftentimes candles really come into their full element probably by about the third burn. And I would say that that is the case with this one as well. Strength and throw on this one, though, is a solid 8, I would say. It does perform quite well in this 2-wick. I imagine that the 4-wick is going to be very, very strong. But yeah, this one has been performing quite well. I do think that it's probably because you get, the top and middle notes here are very spice heavy. The cinnamon, the nutmeg, the clove. But again, you guys, this fragrance to me, the longer that you burn it, particularly that base note of the vanilla icing, the vanilla and the tonka, is what really starts to shine in this candle. And yeah, I just think for me, like when it comes to a lot of spice cake fragrances, or like not spice cake, because this is not a spice cake fragrance. When it comes to spicy fragrances, like with Caramel Sundays, if they were to have released coffin cake, if they released that in like a 150 ounce vessel, I would buy that one. When it comes to spice types of fragrances, that's what I tend to like a little bit more. Again, this one is a little bit more frosting forward to my nose. I feel like the spice notes are just softer in this fragrance. So that might be up somebody else's alley, but for me personally, I prefer a little bit more spice, a little bit more of that baked accord, a little bit less frosting. So overall, you guys, I'm going to continue to burn this one. I can see myself probably finishing this one up this month, in the month of November. It's not going to be a repurchase for me, but if you caught my review last week, I will say that the candle that I do have on my wish list to repurchase is that Dad's Fresh Cut Fraser. Really, really excited about that one. So anyways, you guys, let me know in the comment box down below if this one is on your wish list for the November restock. I will have in the description box down below the dates of the November restock, as well as the phone number that you're going to want to text the word candle to, so that way you can get on the early access list. They will give 2 minutes early access when you sign up for that, and that 2 minutes is very vital when it comes to Caramel Sundays, because their business model is kind of what has been dubbed Hunger Games. Basically, they will make all of these candles available at a specific time every month. Like I said, it's November 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, things sell out quite quickly, but they are doing a better job of making sure that they have more stock on hand. And I have found that the most recent restocks, I've been able to get my hands on quite a few things that I feel like even like a year ago sold out a lot quicker. So I feel like they're getting a little bit better at that. So anyways, you guys, that is the fullness of this review. Again, let me know if this one is on your wish list, what your burn experience has been. Feel free to chime in down below. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.